And we have Coosemans and Brent McAdams, who are working collaboratively to deliver restorative practices in Terrace and the surrounding area and the Nisga'a territory of the Nass Valley.
When I think of restorative justice, the first thing that comes to mind, and both these people have already said it, is community building and nurturing a sense of belonging for many people, even in our small communities up north, which is very different, I think, from the larger centers. We have maybe a greater opportunity to sense that belonging, that sense of, to experience that sense of belonging. And yet there are people who are left out in our society, in our small communities too. One of the challenges is to get the word out that the restorative justice is an alternative, and it also is closely connected to Aboriginal justice in our area. So we work together, and this is the theme of our presentation in our first breakout session. How we can work together effectively and with sensitivity to the different, the diversity of people that we serve, basically, that we involve in our forums. And so to be cognizant of those cultural differences is very important. Networking in the community, there are challenges. I work out of the RCMP office, and sometimes that's looked upon as buying into their worldview. I've always distanced myself from the start, and one of the first things I did 6 years ago is actually go up the Nass and talk with the Juchlim Kask program, and they've actually guided me and still guide me in the way I conduct our interviews and our forums. So I will carry on. I really think that a lot has been said by Alana already, and thank you for your well put presentation. You covered a lot of things that I would have talked about too. So thank you.
My name is Brent Adams, and I come from the Nass Valley, the Nisga'a territory. I originally started off with the Restorative Justice program in 2000 when I went through training with Jim Cooley, and at that time I was the program manager for the victim services in the RCMP detachment. And at that time what I thought about restorative justice was that, and this was what I first thought of was that it was another opportunity for offenders to not go through the criminal justice system. So what I did was that I took the training and then I used that within victim services, and it was able to give people who are victims of crime a voice where they did not get it with going through the other alternative systems. So I started becoming a believer and an advocate of the restorative justice program and started networking. So my vision of restorative justice was to maintain a balance and work with people within the communities that were affected by crime, and it really benefit people who were victims of crime because they were able to feel better about themselves. And then in the First Nations communities, we're so tight-knit and close that restoring balances within our communities was our main focus of going through that, as well as networking with many other programs using our traditional and cultural practices. So I guess some of the setbacks that we do see is following mandates, 2 different mandates that are required to run a program and to overcome these challenges. Other than that, the restorative justice program is very strong within our communities. In 2000, we would see about 30 youth being represented through the court system, and I can tell you that today we have 2 that are represented in the court. It's a very successful program that we work with the youth to make sure that they are making the right choices rather than going through the criminal justice system. We give them these alternative choices of what they could achieve in their life, at the same time restoring balance with people who are the victims of the offenses that take place.